Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Whitney with Crafty Thoughts Whatnots, and today I got a farmhouse lantern and a mini toolbox video for you. We got a little bit of a moving parts, but the video should be fun, so let's jump in. First we're going to do the lantern. Now I've got most of my supplies here. I've got two of these signs here. My sister actually gave me these, but they came from Joann's. They are just little, tabletop decor or wall signs. They are very good, sturdy, thick, pretty heavy. I love the galvanized metal around the outside. And this right here is our little cute boxes from Dollar Tree. I got 4 square dowels. I've got those from Amazon. They are listed in my Amazon shop. I'm not sure the measurements, but I got a pack of 25 or 40 something, I can't remember. And then also these finials here I got from Amazon. They're 4 1/4 inch finials. We're going to put that on the top. Now, I bought those to put them as feet on something, but we're going to put this one on the top of our lantern, and it turns out so cute, guys. So just take off all our labels. So got to get the heat gun out because these labels are on pretty good. So take them off of our Joann signs. I'm going to take them off my Dollar Tree little box here. And basically what I want to do is we're going to start painting, but I want to tape off the galvanized metal because I want to leave that. I love it. It's cute. It's secure. And I like because it's it'll give it that farmhouse feel that I love so much that I can't help but be obsessed with. So it's actually the perfect width of my painter's tape, so I'm not mad at that at all. So I just wrapped it around the side, put like a little hem on it, and I did that to both of them. And then of course don't forget to take the hardware off of our little Dollar Tree box there. And then at some point I thought I was going to put it back on, but then I decided not to. So I'm going to cover the tops of these only. Actually, I believe, yeah, never mind. Ignore me. Ignore me. That's great. I painted the tops and the insides and the edges. I just didn't want to get paint on the galvanized portion around the sides of these little signs. And one of them I ended up messing up a little bit later. I left it in so you guys can see it and I ended up covering it. But they took probably about 3 or 4 coats. This little box here took about 2 coats. The little Dollar Tree boxes, everybody knows those. We've all painted them many, many times. So that's just my folk art home decor white chalk paint. And it's a pretty thick, I've watered it down a bunch, but it's still a very thick paint. So it's kind of not my favorite. I prefer Waverly, but honestly, I don't know what I'm going to go with next because my Walmarts don't sell it anymore. But anyways, moving on. Paint everything white. And that also includes our finial and our square dowels. Give everything a good coat of white. Those only took 1 coat each. So you'll see here, that's just 1 coat of white paint on that finial. Looks so good. Plus, you guys know I'm going to distress everything. I also forgot to tell you we're going to put feet on it, on our lantern, so I painted 4 of those white. Those are unfinished wood candle cups. I got those at Hobby Lobby, but you also can get them. I believe I've gotten another set in my Amazon shop before, too. I think they're different size. This particular pack I got at Hobby Lobby. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm doing this backwards. So I'm putting the feet on too early. But I am just using regular hot glue because this is all, none of it's basically wood to wood anymore. I've got chalk paint, 3 or 4 layers on this, that, and the other. And here's where I needed to put the dowels on, but I also wanted to use my staple gun there on the right-hand side. I've actually put little brad nails in it. So I ended up having to take it apart, and I ripped off all of that paper that wouldn't come off before, but apparently, hot glue. Anyhow, we're going to fix it. So anyways, I put my little sign back down. I put my 4 square dowels in each corner, and I used a decent amount of glue. So here I'm kind of cleaning up the excess that kind of squished out on the sides. Now this is the bottom. So remember, I want the bottom to still look good because you might see in there when you put a candle, or depending on what you're going to put in your lantern, you don't really want the bottom to be too messy. So here I'm using my staple gun with the brad nails. Now, I honestly don't know, guys, if I actually hit the dowels or not. It's just a guessing game, so I just put two nails each. But the wood glue is holding up great fine, so in order to fix it, instead of trying to paint over it's basically cardboard that's been ripped, I just used my brown craft paper that you get at Dollar Tree or any, you can get that at the shipping store, you can get that anyways, but that's just a roll I got at Dollar Tree years ago. So then we're also going to now use our sander and sand away from you to get the rest of the excess paper off. So we now have a cute little bottom. We now have a cute little bottom. Sometimes, guys, I crack myself up. Anyways, we're going to put the feet back on. So now we're going to hot glue them back to the bottom of the lantern. Again, just regular hot glue, and everything is still secure. This is a solid piece, guys. I'm super happy with the way it turns out. So small little hiccup. So flip her back over. Now we're going to put the top on. So I was just making sure everything fit correctly. And what I'll do is once you take that back off, I only put glue on the corners and I let it drip down into the bottom so that the glue is basically on each side of the dowel as well as the top. So that way you've got a good secure mount to the top. And then there's basically the stack. So I'm taking my Dollar Tree box for the top of our lantern, make it look all cute and what do you call that? It's just a cute design. That's what it is. It's just a box. Here's me deciding, should I put this here? Nah, I'm not gonna. I think I just left it that way. You don't have to pick a specific side to be your front. So once I got it pretty much where I want, I added just little guidelines so I knew where to put it back down at and I wouldn't have to try to slide it around while that glue was still cooling off. So I'm using those are little spackle knives from Dollar Tree. They come in handy. They got a nice little sharp edge on them that gets all the extra glue off. I love it. So now we're pretty much, this is like the main part of the construction. The lantern went really fast. It's the little mini toolbox that's got a lot of steps in it. You guys are going to have to follow me. You know what I'm saying? But after this, I filled that in with a lot of glue. Honestly, I put a little bit too much glue in it and some squished out. Again, grab that little spackle knife from Dollar Tree and it just literally pulled it right off. I had a couple little, stray pieces come off, but then it just rubbed right off my finger and we're good to go. So there it is, the piece. You won't see it standing up because of my camera angle, but here's the reveal. I did this in real time because some people love that. I'm one of those people that I like to see paint tape being pulled off or stripes and things. This is satisfying because I got no paint on any of the galvanized portions of both those signs, top and bottom. And I just think that just worked out in my favor so well because it's so farmhouse, and that's my thing, guys. It's just so cute. And the painter's tape right there gave me a little bit of a problem, but both of them came off super easy, very, very, very clean, and none of it cat on any of the galvanized, which I'm pretty sure without any Mod Podge or anything like that, you probably can scratch it off if you do get some paint on that type of surface. But look how cute it is. So now we're going to distress it with some mineral chalk paint. If you do not like distressing, then by all means, skip this step or pick a color that works for you, works for your preferences, works for your taste. I love all of this same old, So I know some people say, you're doing the same thing over and over again. I'm good with that because it's for me and I like it. This is inspiration. Take your theme and run with it. If you want to do more antique wax, if you want to just stain the wood instead of painting it with chalk paint, go for it. Anything will apply. I love the way this came out to the point where I was so upset at the beginning thinking like I didn't want to use a cheap little Dollar Tree sign because I've seen so many of them and they're so wobbly at the end that it's like, okay, I'm gonna put it in the corner. I'm gonna balance it between things, but don't touch it. Don't walk past it too quickly. Don't sneeze on it. It might fall over. This thing is solid. It's got nice heavy pieces. Those dowels from Amazon are thick and they're sturdy. And I didn't drop it, but I'm sure if it fell, you'd be fine. But that doesn't mean I'm going to test it out, guys. I promise you, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just distressing the whole thing, inside, outside, inside the edges, inside each corner, on all of the ridges. Don't forget the feet. And I end up doing the inside of the top of it too for, just for the fun of it, because you never know when you might turn it upside down, I guess. I don't know. But I just couldn't leave it completely solid white since the whole thing was. So it just took, just a little bit extra paint. It was on the board. It was on my brush. I just used it. So look how cute it is. And that's it, guys. And then of course, fill it with anything you want. Now, I am going to make some lantern swag, so you guys will see that in an upcoming video. The holidays are coming up. I will make some lantern swags to put on the top of my little cute lantern here. But this little girl is going to be featured in a lot of our upcoming videos. So if you feel the inspiration to make one yourself, please send me pictures. Send me anything you guys make. I love seeing it. You can send me anything on Instagram and you can see the link to that, or find the link to that as well as my Ko-fi page and my Amazon shop. That's all in the description below. And also, if you can, please, if you're not already a member, please hit the subscribe button and then also click on the bell. You'll know every time I upload a video. It really helps me out more than you could possibly know. Even just throwing a little comment down there that says, hey, hi, how you doing? Or just a little emoji heart or anything. All that helps my channel more than you guys could possibly know. But anyways, all those links are in my description. And you can take a look at that there. But I really would love to see if you guys also make your own lanterns, and let me know what you guys think of this one. This one turned out so well that I was pleasantly surprised. I also thought it'd be too tiny, but it is the perfect. It's not weight. I have really massive lanterns out in my living room, but this isn't too big and it's not too small. It's very proportionate, and I'm very happy that my sister gave me those signs. But remember, thrift it up, guys. You can find things anywhere. These were from Joann's, but I mean, Dollar Tree does have a lot of good signs, but you can find them anywhere. Hobby Lobby as well. So now we're going to move on to the little mini toolbox. 2 of these little dry erase boards, house-shaped dry erase boards from Dollar Tree, and then it's going to be the equivalent of 3 of their mini little wood pallets. Now I'm leaving one solid because I had one extra. Now these pieces off to the side were a failed project. I was going to make a picnic table and it was a nightmare, but in any event, I took my miter shears and I cut one pallet in half. So right in this area here where I'm pointing these, that's where you're going to use your miter shears and cut a pallet in half. And then I have 3 extra pieces here, but you're only going to need 2. And this again was just as a stash buster because I had the extra pieces in my junk bucket. So what we'll do first is we're going to remove all of our labels just like normal. Got to make sure they all came off pretty easy. I didn't have to use any heat gun this time. It's kind of nice. So the bottom of the actual the little toolbox is going to be the one solid pallet. It fits inside that little mini chalkboard, or sorry, that dry erase board perfectly. It's like it was meant to be there. I'm using wood glue, tight bond wood glue, and my little staple gun. You technically don't even need to use the staple gun if you don't want to. I just knew that I was going to possibly I didn't want to wait for the glue to set, and by the time I put all this stuff on here, guys, I ended up getting clamp happy, and I put my clamps all over it, and I had to wait a day for it to be solid because I was very worried that it was going to fall apart while I was painting it. So I had to woo-saw and give myself some patience and wait for the glue to dry because, yeah, I don't want to. So on the sides, I'm putting the 2-piece or the halves of the pallets down as far down to the bottom as possible. So I'm making it even with the bottom pallet that we've already secured into the middle. And I'm going to use my staple gun again with the brad nails that I put in it. So this is my first time using the nail feature of this gun. Now I have this nail gun or this staple gun in my Amazon shop, but I'll tell you, it's not my favorite. I did see a electric staple nail gun that I'm probably going to buy to try out. This one, I have carpal tunnel, guys. Now, if you remember my little staple gun from earlier, that was a Craftsman staple gun that I got so many years ago at Sears, but it works very well for people who have either neuropathy or strength issues in your hands. I don't necessarily have a strength issue so much anymore, but I did have carpal tunnel surgeries many, many years ago. So every once in a while I get like a little zinger, as my mom likes to say, and I'll feel, like the tingling and the numbness comes back. And it's one of those things where had I not had the surgeries, you guys, I would not be crafting today because I was dropping things and I would think I picked something up and I never held it. It was bad. So this isn't exactly my favorite staple gun because it does require a lot of pressure, even if you're adjusting the tension. Now that tension isn't for the actual trigger of the staple gun. The tension is for how deep or how thick the wood is that you're trying to staple or nail through. I wanted to make sure that I had the nails because I knew that it was going to show. I was not going to be able to staple to the back of it. So it kind of gives it a little bit of a, you can see that it's handmade, but you also kind of looks like it was put together by a real, carpenter, not a DIY crafter. I think the nails make it look cute. I'm not hiding them. I do paint over them, but I want them to be seen. So it's not like I wanted actual staples to be seen. So if that makes sense, guys, let me know. If you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. But in any event, any of the wood glue that squishes out, make sure I took a baby wipe and I got it off because that stuff dries yellow and you can't paint over it. It's kind of difficult. So the minute it squishes out, excuse me, the minute it squishes out, I just kind of get it while it's wet to make sure that I can get most of it off of the wood. That's just to avoid more issue later by trying to scratch it or scrape it off. So there, I'm just fixing that too. Now the extra piece you'll see here, I already put one on, but on this side, I'm just putting a space between it to give it kind of like a, like a shopping basket type feel, if that makes sense, or even just like a wooden fence feel. I didn't want to put a honestly, the reason why it came out this way was because I had the extra pieces from a failed project. That's why I did that, but I just put a space in those so it looks cute. Now here I'm using a dowel that I got, this 10-pack from Walmart. It says 3/8 of an inch dowels, And I'm using an extra palette that I already have to measure because that's the length of the dowel that I need. Now, I cut this too short. I should have cut it on the line that I made, Whitney. Here you're measuring it and putting a line on it in order to ignore yourself. That's great. But in any event, this is part of the reason. After this cut right here is where I left it upside down so that the wood glue was sitting on itself, and then I got all kinds of clamp happy. So I put my clamps on and I left it sitting upside down so the handle's solid, wood on wood. The wood glue bonds on a scientific level that I don't understand, but let me tell you, wood glue is good. Use wood on wood for wood. Use wood glue for wood on wood. It'll never fail you. So here we're all done. This is the final construction of the piece, and here's where your own preferences will come in. I'm going to go again with the mineral. I'm going to cover the whole thing in mineral. I did not do the inside because I will always have something in it. So I did as neatly as I could on the edge of the inside, but I did not paint the dry erase portion. I did not paint the inside. I did end up having to paint these. I had two other items tried. I was going to try two other ideas on these end pieces, and this is how we ended up. Basically, I cannot measure craft paper to save my life if I can't take the backing off of it, and there was some frustration, some injuries, and a curse word or two. So we're moving on, and this is the solution. You guys let me know what you think. So this is my first time trying this whole painter's tape thing. And I've seen a lot of people do it, so I was like, okay, Whitney, let's listen to some of the people. So in order to get really good crisp lines, I've seen videos where people take the same color that's on your background and put that on each side of your painter's tape. I let it dry just a little bit till it's tacky. Don't let it dry 100%. And then I did like a stippling kind of dabbing motion, kind of like I was doing a stencil, even though there's no stencil there. And that's just my that's not Waverly, sorry. That's my chalk paint again from Folk Art white chalk paint. And then once I got that on, I was confident enough to go and put my brush strokes in. I hope that makes sense. So use your main color. Look at that line. That's so pretty. I love that. I'm one of those people that like to see the reveals. And then take the rest of your paint that's still loaded on your brush before you do the other side. And just distress the whole thing over. Now, when I put white on it, this made, look how cute, not cute, but look how, I love that crisp line. And I end up distressing around it anyways, but I think the crisp lines make it look pretty. Now, I didn't honestly at this point have the patience. I wanted to do a ticking stripe, but I did not have the patience to wait for it. So on another day when I approach another one with a calmer crafting mind, I'll do some ticking stripe, because at least now I know that my painter's tape thing that I've watched other people do, at least I know it works and I can do it. So in any event, I'm going to put some rub-on transfers from a maker's studio here. This was, I think, $15 or $16, maybe $17, and they are gorgeous. And they are great quality. And they even have a weird, they smell good to me, but I also like the smell of gasoline, so I'm a little strange. It's like weird, like Scotch tape, things like, I'm basically telling you guys how much I like to sniff things. But anyways, moving on. You already know I'm weird, but I just chose the larger pieces here, and I specifically went for a brown color because I like to mix colors that people don't think go together, like browns. First off, I just did a bunch of gray and white, and now I'm going to throw some bronzish brown into it, and it just makes me happy, because honestly this will still go. And I'll let you guys see, I'm going to do a transition video where I'm taking everything that I've done from spring and summer, and I'm going to put it into fall, and I'm going to put it into Christmas. And you guys will see that all of these containers that we've made and all these projects that we've done, they're all going to look great together in the end. They're going to look absolutely amazing together. So we will transition this one into fall with some punkies. Love to put the punkies and everything, and then it's going to look great for Christmas. Can you imagine? Even Christmas, bright red, shiny berries, Christmas berries, and some evergreen. It's going to look great. It's going to look great. It's going to look so pretty. I love it. Now, again, after you do the rub-on, you can very slowly check to make sure pieces aren't coming up. But then the plastic piece that you peel off, you see me rubbing that's called burnishing. And I got that from an Iron Orchid video where they're telling you how to use the Iron Orchid designs transfers. And it basically applies to everything. So Dollar Tree transfers, Amazon transfers, Maker Studio transfers. It's a good idea. It's almost like buffing it. It gives it its final little push, and it doesn't necessarily put a shine to it, but it can if you put some wax over it. But it's always a good idea that once you pull the plastic off, you kind of burnish it and just rub over the entire piece again, just to make sure it gives it that last little seal. I don't know if that even seal. I'm sounding like I know what I'm talking about, but Look how cute that is. It's perfect. Now, so you can see in there what I didn't paint, but in any event, we're going to cover it right now. So this is 6-inch wide burlap I've got at Michael's many years ago. I have a billion yards of it because I used to put it on my Christmas tree. But I just kind of, what do you call it? I shredded. I didn't shred it. I frayed the edges just enough. And what I did here was I have a block from Dollar Tree. So I put it in there and then I stuck my knife through to measure because I don't want it to be exactly up to the top of the box here. So it actually worked out perfectly to cut that edge off, then cut that in half, fold it in half, and look at that perfect fit, guys. Look at that perfect fit. You couldn't do that again if you asked me to. Well, maybe I could, but I'll try. In any event, now, I didn't glue any of it in because, again, it's a decent fit with the two pieces of burlap there. That's not going to move anywhere. And also, we're not going to be playing soccer or catch with it. So, you know, just go do as you feel, as you see fit. Gluing it in would not be horribly detrimental, but remember, I'm not going to glue any of these florals in because I'm going to transition it to other holidays. So this is just extra flowers I have from an arrangement I did last year. And then this little bundle of greenery is from Michael's from probably a year or two ago. Remember, I'm not buying new flowers, guys. I'm trying my hardest not to get any florals because I have so many. And if you guys want to know why, I will at some point try to show you guys my craft room and my floral wall. It's beautiful, but it's also a bit embarrassing. But you guys let me know if you guys want to see like a tour of my absolute chaotic mess. So here, just like normal, this is where I find my happiness mostly, is putting in arrangements. And it's even more fun that I've discovered recently without using glue. For some reason, not using glue and knowing that I'm going to take all this out and I could possibly make different and new arrangements each time, for some reason it excites me even more than just the regular arrangement the first time, if that makes sense. And also, I love these little fuzzy peach ball things. I don't know what they're called, but they make me happy. They also will transition because it's all peach colored. All that would look good for fall. And then, of course, I'm filling back in any of my holes with extra greenery. And it just turns out so good. Like, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. This was so much fun, guys. So look, I got no holes. I mean, now the handle is lost in it for now, sort of on one side. But you don't have to fill them as full as I do. I kind of go overboard and a little extra, like the guacamole when it comes to floral arrangements, but I can't help it. And that rub-on transfer, you guys, there were so many fails on decorating the ends of it. And the way it turns out, it's kind of like, you know, it's one of those things where it's just meant to happen. It's meant to be that way. Just don't question it. If you're bad at something and you try it a couple different times and you still like, you know what, let's move on. I'll try it again another day. Now, I'm not going to never try that again. But I'm just not good at measuring and trying to get that. And also, I had a very dull blade on my X-Acto knife, so it was my own fault to begin with, but I was also super tired. So, again, I take ownership. It's my fault. I did it. But I think this turned out absolutely beautiful anyways. Love the transfers. And I like how they're different. They come at different directions. This one's more towards the top, whereas the next one you'll see here comes from the bottom up. It gives these sides just enough interest to it kind of grabs you. And then you guys will see when we come forward, going forward, when I redo this one for the next holidays, it's great to make sure that your bases are transitionable. You can move them from holiday to holiday or from season to season, or even if you change the theme of your home, if it's kind of neutral to your personal taste, you can never go wrong. You can never go wrong. Because even if I decide to go off from farmhouse and then go to cottage or go to French country or go even modern with this, you can get away with mixing a lot of things together. People think things don't go together. Just try it and you'll see that you end up loving it. At least I haven't, no. But I am a little different. I'm a little different. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much again for spending your time with me. I want to personally thank my recent and not necessarily just recent, but since the beginning of me creating the coffee page, there have been a few of you that have consistently bought me coffees and even sent larger donations for supplies. And my heart is just overflowing with gratitude and love for you guys. And of course, again, it's never required, but always appreciated. So thank you guys so much for my coffees. It's made a huge difference. I got a big order of some new transfers coming in, and you guys are going to see some cool stuff. So I'm really excited. And for those of you, if you're not able to, or it's not something that you're not going to be able to, just like, comment, send that button. Monetary support is never required. You can do so much for me by just following me here on my coffee page, and then also going to Amazon. If you make an Amazon order, I get a very small commission off of that. Even if you're not purchasing from my store, I get a small commission off of all of it. Liking, subscribing, and again, just commenting down below anything, saying hi, hello, anything. It all helps. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for everything you do. I love you guys more than you possibly know. So good luck. Take care of yourselves and each other. Happy crafting, and I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye-bye for now.